Hey everybody, Andy here, aka Montolio, and we are back for a Vintage League, and we're playing an old favorite. We're playing some Hollowvine today, some Squee, and I have an affinity for this deck. I have played it for many years, and of course it really has been on the decline since the print of Orcish Bowmaster. And I think Orcish Bowmaster is still pretty prevalent in the metagame. There is a lot of Dimir and Esper Lurrus running around. That coupled with Wastelands makes this deck not that viable, particularly with the Lurrus builds. It's very hard to be able to get your Noxious Revivals to resolve, and you do need some things to go right, but I still think it's very powerful. It's got what I would deem to be a pretty reasonable matchup against something like Jewel or against mono white initiative and some of the other metagame players. And so I'm going to take it out for a test today. No real innovations here. I mean, I've opted to go down to 2 subtlety in this particular build and have 2 fury main deck for the reasons I just mentioned. And the rest of the deck is pretty stock. I am a guy that really enjoys Mindbreak Traps, so I'm going with the full 4 over the Force of Negations. I prefer to have 3 of those and 4 of the traps. I just think it's very good. I am cheating a little bit on Force of Vigor. I've only got 2 main. And sideboard, not too many innovations here. Once again, because of the presence of Bowmaster and White Initiative, I am quite heavy on removal. I've got a couple Echoing Deeps in the sideboard just to be giving me a little bit more of an option against all the Wasteland decks that are heavy control and stopping my Noxious Revivals. So it's just giving me a couple extra uncounterable Bazaar Bagdads. And we've got obviously some Graveyard Hate for Dredge here, and yeah, the extra Vigors. So yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe. See you round 1. Okay, here we are in round 1. We did not win the die roll. This is a pretty easy powder. And this hand looks great. Great is maybe an overstatement, but okay, this could be an Oath of Druids matchup. I don't mind biding a little more time here. Brainstorm, yep. Of course, I don't know what my opponent's playing. Could be Bug. All right. That was a nice one. That's unfortunate. I guess what I could do. No, I think we get going now. And then next turn, perhaps we can get another vine going. We just have to hope we don't lose the counter war. If this is indeed Oath of Druids, which my instinct is telling me it is. We're just going to get her going right now. I'm not complaining that I drew the second vine there, but the problem is, too, is if I've misevaluated and they are on something like Bug, and they wasteland me, and I just ditch the 2 vines hoping to animate next turn, that's pretty bad for me. So we're vulnerable here. Oath is a bit of a tricky matchup, because if they resolve the Oath, we're in bad shape. So it looks like they're making a move here. It is indeed Oath. So they got the oath. I gotta hope my counterspell works. It did. All right, we should be able to win this one then. Now, show and tell is a possibility they could have two, but I'm hoping we get into a wasteland here and a counterspell. Okay. So we did. Four, five, six, seven. I believe it or not, I actually think the extra root wall in play does matter here. So I'm going to put it into play. Okay, so Oath of Druids is a bit of a tougher matchup. Yeah, actually, subtlety's pretty bad here too. They do have planeswalkers, but planeswalkers are not going to be my sticking point. The reason I'm bringing up going deeps is some decks do play Wasteland, and certainly they have Besage, and Caracas is one of my best cards. If it gets killed, it gives me another Caracas, and if I have to discard it early, I still have the ability to get another Caracas, and it's pretty weak, but it's not terrible. We'll try it. This is not an actual sideboard plan, it's just a byproduct of the way my deck is built here. It's worth bringing in and trying out. There are times where you have a board presence on Hollowvine against Oath, where they have a resolve to Traxa, where you have lethal on the table but can't get through, and Caracas can just win you those situations because it's an uncounterable removal spell for the Traxa. Normally I play a couple Caracas in these builds, but Lavinia is at a pretty all-time low. Like, nobody is playing Esper Lurrus right now. Very few people. Okay, well, this is a situation where I got to get rid of my Caracas, which I'm obviously not happy about, but okay. There we go. It does work. I'm going to put away the other root wall. I can see a world where I lose the fight with the first Force of Aegir, and having the second one is pretty decent. Oh, wow, okay. Vexing Bauble. Well, we will most definitely attempt to kill these things. Bauble is very good here against me. But it's not the end of the game because I have a couple masters going. And I can get into Benjamines. All right, let's get going. Yep. There you go. I would say we are not favored to win this game, but if my opponent chokes long enough where they don't find any land, then I think we have a pretty reasonable shot here. And I mean, we can continue to try and find wastelands. did not find a wasteland here. So I'm going to continue to dig. I'm looking for finds and wastelands here. Probably should have got rid of the negation and kept the mist up. There is a world where they get desperate and they crack their bauble, but I don't think they will do that. They did find a... Ooh, okay, I need to find a wasteland right now. Because now I'm facing down show and tell as a possibility as well, which would be really bad for me. Okay, so we are going to need some help here. No wasteland. Oh boy. Okay, well, let's see if we can find one here. We are not doing well on the wasteland Benjamine path here. So now we are all of a sudden in trouble. All right, well. Still nothing. Okay. Well, my opponent needs to give me one more turn of reprieve here. Like, next turn guaranteed. We're going to be over halfway of our deck. We should be able to find a wasteland. Interesting. Oh, okay, now I see what they're doing. Yeah, it's too late now for me. Okay. So we were not getting out of that anyways. Oh, maybe if they didn't have another land. Probably should have sideboarded a Chalice out of there on the draw. A little bit rusty on the holo line. It's been a while. This used to be very intuitive for me. I think we had a good chance of winning that there. We had half of our deck gone. We did not find a wasteland or a Vengevine for that matter. Yep, okay. Gonna need to find a counterspell here. We did. I think the second Noxious is more valuable than the Bazaar because of Force of Vigor. And this is going to allow us to potentially have 9 power out on turn 1, which is strong with a counter spell up. It's not perfect, but... Force of Vigor is a problem. Tabernacle is a problem. If it's something that we can fight on the stack, we have a chance. Dead tab. Okay. And the problem with this particular setup here is that it has left me really vulnerable with no recursion, no squeeze, no masters to be able to recoup my loss here. I do like these spells in my hand, so I'm going to see if my opponent plays an Oath of Druids here, and then I can Force a Vigor and then fight on the stack with it, with my counters, and then end of turn Bazaar of Baghdad. Now they have to be pretty suspicious that I didn't tap my Bazaar here, so this looks exactly like what they're doing. And so I can't complain in this circumstance. Now, if we lose the stack battle here, that's unfortunate. but that is what it is. They do have the force. Okay, so we are going to be able to fight them here. That's not on yet, right? So this is how we drew it up. It was a risky hand or a risky line, but it was the highest value line for us, and now we're able to churn here. Hopefully we find squee or master or both. We did find a master. Okay. And we cannot pay for our spirit token, unfortunately. And not bad. You know, like, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to cast it. I guess I am because I can pay for it with Caracas, and I will have the ability to kill it if they resolve an Oath of Druids. So I think it's just fine. And having the Caracas is nice here. As I mentioned, while sideboarding, this is one of our trump cards when all else goes wrong. Now, of course, we don't have the pressure that we would like in this circumstance. We are looking for wastelands here. I will pay. Same thing. I'm going to hold up Force of Will here for this turn, and end of turn I will Bazaar. Now, of course, I'm telegraphing I have a force here because I didn't do anything, but let's see what they do. This is another vamp. That would be unfortunate. I don't really feel like it's wise to let this resolve, right? No. Just too many things go wrong. Like if they kill my Bazaar with a Besaju or something like that, it's just really bad for me. They probably have a Miser Strip Mine in the deck. Just not worth it. Vexing Bauble. Okay, well, that is pretty problematic. Vexing Bauble is in. So they have their two best hate cards against me. I beg your pardon, excuse me. There's my buddy. That will help. Now, Oath of Druids has a substantial amount of air in their deck where they can draw the wrong side. Hopefully, drawing Force of Wills and things like that. We don't want to see an Oath of Druids. We don't want to see an Oko. Okay, they got something. They got an Oath of Druids. Okay. I do need to find a wasteland here to take that orchard away. Tabernacle working against my opponent here because I'm able to clear my hand. Okay, that was pretty nice. So now we are in a position where we have to alpha strike my opponent with some Vengevines and be able to return their Atraxa back to their hand like I spoke about. This is the game plan now, which is easier said than done with a Tabernacle in play. We need to fade another Orchard. Okay, so far so good. I beg your pardon, excuse me. Now we are built up to having an ancestral return, so we will pull ahead here very quickly if my opponent doesn't do anything. Yeah, Oko is horrendous for me. So we're not likely to beat an Oko here. We just needed a little bit more time. And let's get her going. Once again, no vines in the yard. We're halfway, over half our deck, 28 cards in. There's the Orchard. Okay. Well, they are going to get an Atraxa here. The way this is templated, they between Oko and Tabernacle, they will not have to be able to pay for their creature. We can hear both their Druids ourselves because they have a creature, and I do believe I am going to do that. I think one of the ways that I win this is being able to get a bunch of Vengevines into my graveyard, and it's risky, but I'm in just such a bad spot here. And they have the Orchard here anyways. So let's see what we can do. 28 cards left. Let's go about 15 deep. What are they doing here? They got something? Ravenous Trap. Okay. Well, that's pretty bad for me. But the good news is I have no Vengevines there. Oh, that's right. I wasn't getting to Oath here. And unfortunately, I have the token in play here, so they're just going to be able to Oath, but draw. Okay. Yeah, no real reason not to cast it, I guess. All right, here goes, guys. No oath for them. It is fairly low prevalence that I have 23 cards in my deck, and I have not seen a Vengevine yet. Like pretty crazy, really. Yes, I will block. Thank you. Okay, I will oath again. This is getting very risky being down this low, but it just is what it is. Like, I have a pretty good chance of hitting a number of Vengevines here. Oh, my opponent uses the Orchard, of course. Oh, they didn't use the Orchard. Okay, I will do it. Top card was a Basking Root Walla. That was... I'm having a tough time of it here, guys. If I could just find a Vengevine or two, would be really nice. Can you believe this? I just can't. My 4 Vengevines are 17 cards deep here. Yeah, now they're doing it. Okay. Makes sense. We have had our chances this game, I'll tell you. Like, my opponent has given us lots of chances to win this game. No need to bounce Atraxa immediately. Should have stacked it the other way unless there's something in particular they're looking for. That is not in their graveyard. Like, Time Walk is a good one to have in their graveyard, right? Oh, Sarah's Emissary. Well, I cannot beat that card. Oh, they found a Beseiju. Okay, so they got a Strip Mine instead of the Beseiju. Yep. We'll use the tools we got here. This game is now over. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can do. I have to say I'm fairly disappointed in how my deck has run here. This is extremely low prevalence, and had I been able to get 1 to 2 vines out in different spots, like, we would still be playing Magic here throughout all of this hate. Okay, they got a Sphinx. Okay, Blightsteel. I just want to see where my vines are. Like, this is like crazy. See if they let me oath here. Yeah, it's just too late, right? Like, I mean, we're going to get them all here now. Almost assuredly. Right? Like, it just would have been so close. Well, not so close. I think we would have won had we just even found one Vengevine, right? Kind of halfway through this game. Like, you have to look at this. Like, we're 10 cards deep and we're just getting our first Vengevine. Like, I can put my opponent half their life total here. Disappointing loss, but I will say I like how I played it. We just had, I would say, probably 5% of about the worst luck you could ever imagine, like 95% chance that we were going to do better than what we did in that particular game. Okay. Got a Lurrus here. So this is the matchup we're a bit scared of. And we did lose the die roll, unfortunately, too. That's not ideal. Hopefully we can present a turn 1 Vengevine. I think that this matchup is going to be horrendous, and it's the reason that I've walked away from this deck over the last couple years is just, oh, initiative. No, well, this is not initiative. They've got a Lurrus. What am I talking about? Chrome Mox. Okay, maybe they're going to play into my trap here. Interesting. Two cards in hand. Are they just going to pull Lurrus and punish me? Come on, play it. Yeah, they're just going to pull Lurrus. I would like to wasteland them here, but I cannot. I got to get going. Why are these things all over the place here? Come on. Okay, nice to have a counter spell here. I don't know if they're playing Wasteland or not. My gut is that they're not, but I'm not going to Noxious Revival their land on top regardless. Nope. This time I will. They just pull Lurrus to hand this time. I mean, Lurrus is no joke in this situation, but don't mind the master here. It's going to give me some pretty good tempo. Okay. And hopefully we can outdraw our opponent here moving forward. Like, we're going to have a pretty good attack coming through next turn. TO, so they're playing combo version here. Okay. All right. Nice win. I did not anticipate that. Interesting to see Chromox. I don't think this is a... I don't feel like this is a Fury matchup. I don't feel like they have... No, I don't want Caracas. Let's just do this. Chalice is still viable because they're playing PO. I love getting people with Mindbreak Trap. It puts the fear of God into them. They will think of Mindbreak Trap moving forward. And there's still a good likelihood I'll have one in my hand because I got 4 in my deck. Okay. Not bad. Do they have a Bowmaster is the question. No playing around it. Let's go. It's so sad I don't have a force or my force up here. No playing around, Tabby. We just got to go. There is a world where I can force a Vigor them in the upkeep here. But I don't think so. Yep. Bit scary, but excuse me, I do apologize for all the coughing. I've got this dry cough. Had an upper respiratory infection 6-8 weeks ago, and it's just gone through a genesis of multiple phases where I actually wasn't feeling that badly at all throughout it, but the cough has just been the mainstay. From productive to non-productive to hacks. Not fun. And of course, we live in a world where people are far too sensitive around people coughing in public, so it makes it awkward post-COVID-19. Okay. So I'm having my hand forced here. I suspect it's better to keep the Root Walla because it could animate a Vengevine. And this is not so bad if this works. Okay, did not. So the problem with this is that they're going to have Lurrus come in soon. And Lurrus could cause some issues for me because I'm not able to go full tilt on attacks because I just attack back. But let's see what happens. Your bauble is in. Lurrus to hand. Toxic Deluge, yep. Wouldn't mind a Vine here. That actually worked out quite nicely. We can wasteland them here. They only have one card in hand, so there is a world where they cannot do anything this turn. That's my hope, anyways. That Vengevine is no joke. Okay, they just got it for Lurrus here. As much as I like the Root Walla here, I do think I'm just going to go looking for Squeeze. Yep, I like that. We're just trying to get card advantage as fast as we can here. Lurrus sucks to have to battle Lurrus here. Yep. Going to continue to keep going here. I mean, we can't attack anymore. I mean, I guess I can. Right, I put them to 4, they go back up to 7. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Of course, if they want to trade, I think that favors me. No! We were winning that game. I just like the way we're set up here. I have not seen Wastelands. I think we could potentially cut a Noxious Revival here. Let's try this for a Caracas. Subtlety doesn't look great either, but beg your pardon. What's going on here? Magic Online has just been incredibly laggy again. It's so disappointing. Okay, looks good to me. important for me to keep up Force of Will here just in case. Just something like Disruptor Flute is just damning. That game wasn't actually 100% over last game. I still had a couple Wastelands in my deck that I could have found. Time Walk. It's aggressive. Let's see if we can hit this vine. Oh my goodness, we did. How crazy is that, guys? Now the question is do I play around Tabernacle? I am just far too aggressive. It's so unlikely. But nice win there. This is just an example of aggro control where you're just beaten down, just being able to control your opponent just enough with that one key counter spell into Wasteland. So we will take that. I have to say I'm really enjoying playing this deck right now. Okay, here we are, round 3. Powder that baby away. We're going to mulligan this one. Beautiful. I believe my opponent is a Shops player. What can we put away here? I kind of really like all of these. We got 1 drop, 2 drop, and 3 drop covered here. So Sphere is a bit of a problem for us. I think Mindbreak Trap is likely to be the weakest if this was their opening play. Gonna need some help here. Okay, that is definitely good. We got Force of Will up here and Noxious Revival for a Wasteland. And a couple squeeze coming back. I'm not thrilled with this, but if I get Wastelanded again, it's kind of where I'm at. At least I'll have something beating down. Just hope we don't get Wastelanded. Oh, main deck tab. Okay. That's no problem. I think a Wasteland would be really nice here for us to be able to get rid of that workshop. Kind of like all these cards. Golos. Put a stop to that guy. Guess I can get rid of the Bazaar here. It's a little bit risky. Crucible, no. Gonna need a bit of help here. Need a wasteland. Let's get rid of the root wall. I could go again, but I don't really want to unless I absolutely have to. I'm giving my opponent time here by not finding a wasteland. They could put me in an awkward position. Yeah. Yep. So, not much I can do here. Let's see what they end up doing. Probably another wasteland is my guess. So I'm gonna make them lose their Golos here. I'm not gonna bring back the Bazaar right now because I'm gonna let my opponent think I don't have anything. And they have now a decision to make if they want to pay for their Golos or if they want to wasteland me. And they probably just let their Golos go here because they want to cripple me, is my guess. I could just nuke both of these right now while I have a chance, and I have a pretty good chance of just getting a Vengevine off here. Now I have Force of Will up. Just got to fade Wasteland. And a good chunk of damage there. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I could force that and end the game, but I don't think it matters. We're going to just be in such control. All right, Golo shops. Probably can cut one trap. Let's give this a go. I like it. Double ley line. Interesting. Since they have a sphere, the root wall is not going to be great for me here. Not bad. Yep. Perfect. That's a fair bit of pressure here. My opponent did not have a second land. Yeah. Echoing Deep's looking good there just as an extra mana. That enabled that whole line. Round 4. Won the die roll, which is nice. Coming off vigor here. Excuse me. Hopefully I don't regret that decision. It's better to keep the Bazaar in hand. Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be a tough one if this is Dredge. Okay, it is Dredge. So we need a wasteland right here. No vines, unfortunately. That would make a big difference here, but now if they have a second Bazaar, we're pretty cooked, but we should be able to clear the way for a solid hit next turn with the Fury. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's a bunch of amalgams coming back, and I will not be able to eat all those. I'll take it. I think we can have 6 here. All right. Well, I need some help here, guys. I think Wasteland is the first thing I need. That will do. If they force this, I don't think I'll battle it. I don't know. I'm already in a pretty bad spot here. Just pass turn. Noxious, yep. Okay, you got it. They don't actually have phenomenal dredgers right now. Now that will get better definitely with the Bazaar. How many do I got coming back? 4. 1, 2, 3. 3 squeeze. 2 masters and a squee. I wish they were all squeeze, because the life loss does matter. I'm in a spot now where I am going to have to start blocking. I was hoping to hit another root walla here to be able to trade with one of the amalgams, but they haven't hit any creeping chills yet, which is bad for me. They can ostensibly put me to 1 here. One, 1, and 1. Let's try that. They've only got 1 Narcomoeba left. Again, I do apologize for my cough, guys. I know it's probably super annoying. Don't mind seeing a vine here. Shucks. Only 1 Icarid coming my way here. I guess I just hold the root walla. I could put the Icarid back on top. So it's 3. I feel like I just need to be proactive. I think we just have to try and mitigate as much damage as we possibly can. We still have a pretty healthy root wall account. Let's hope they don't have another Bazaar here. Cannot attack. Maybe I do actually put that Icarid on top to keep them away from the amalgams. I think I'm gonna. They did hit 2 Icarids this time. And Grave Troll. We're not going to win this game. It's almost impossible for me to win it because they haven't hit any chills yet. And I'm having to pay life every turn for these masters to try and get ahead, but it just is what it is. This is our turn right here. If we have any chance, we have to high roll here. Can we get a vine? Oh, my goodness, I lost the vine attack. What was I thinking? That's actually a pretty big deal, giving up that vine attack. Anyways. I was mesmerized that I had all my hollow ones there. Yeah, I hope that wasn't a game-losing play. Here you go. Now I can stop all the amalgams coming, or the Icarids coming through here. They will have amalgams up the following turn. But if all goes well here and they miss on this next Narcomoeba, and they hit no chills, we will win. That's a lot to ask, but they did hit the Narcomoeba. Okay. 2 blockers. And I'm coming with like I definitely beat them if I had that vine attack last turn. I just had a little bit of a mishap there. Bit sloppy, but I always take game 1 wins against Dredge. It is not easy. And we've got decent board here. There you have it. There is a world where we could bring in more Furies. I'm not sure what I take out. I don't think that it's consensus to keep Force of Will in your deck amongst Hollow players, but I do like it because being able to protect your ley line can be game winning. Whereas if they get it, you're in a bad spot. No ley line here. Can I powder this? I think I'm going to. Crazy, right? I know. Two of their vigors are gone. Yep. We need a force of vigor. I feel like I need to deploy my plan here. I need a force of vigor. I guess I take the hit here. Just straight up 8. I kind of like the misstep for if I find a vigor and then I wasteland them and they keep noxious, but I don't think that that's all that likely. But I have 2 wastelands. I can keep it. So as long as we can dodge a vigor here, we did. What becomes really awkward is if they have a wasteland in their hand. We probably lose, but no vigors in exile on my side. So the fact that they didn't spin to me means they maybe have a vigor. First things first, let's see what they do. Let's make them make the move here. Because yeah, they are digging. I will let that happen. And if they vigor, then I Bazaar. Now, I may not have that opportunity depending on how they sequence things, but yeah, so it is an exile. Okay. Ooh, I didn't hit. I guess the way I have to do this is like this. Not happy to have to get rid of my squee here, but it is what it is. Okay, they did get it. This buys me a lot of time, though. Okay, they got 2 cards now. I mean, I'm drawing cards with the master here, but obviously I'm going to have to get in front of this thing here at some point. I think I'm going to take my opportunity to do so right now. Fine, yeah. Okay, so I can vigor this thing, which is what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's a bummer. Not bad. What? Come on. 3 other hollow ones are gone. My opponent's putting up a very good fight here for playing through a ley line. Double hollow one to open. They found 2 Bazaars now on me. Wastelanded my Bazaar. Negated my Vengevine from coming back into play. Twice. Not bad. Yep. All right. All right. Last round, we're playing against Kobe. Kobe is typically a prison shops player. I mean, they don't play Vintage a ton, certainly on Magic Online in Vintage, but I know them in real life, and whenever I see them, that's typically what they're playing. Very likely to get Wastelanded here, but I have a Noxious Survival. Just presuming they are playing shops. Hmm. Not happy to see that, I can tell you. Strong start from them. So they're playing Fleshraker shops. Very likely to empty their hand here. I'm praying this is not a ring, but there's nothing I can do to stop that way my hand is comprised. Not bad. It's greedy, but I really want this Vengevine to be able to pressure my opponent in some way. Fury can manage the Fleshraker, if I can find one. Did find an actual Fury, but I did not find a green source to go along with it. We got to force a will up for this turn, so we're okay. I mean, we've got to watch our life total a bit with the Fleshraker, but hopefully I can find a red source here for my Fury. is. Yeah. Okay. Don't know if I can fit all these things, but negation's not great in this matchup, but it's not. Actually, that's a lie. I maybe should have kept it. I'm not 100% sure. Just because of the one ring. But we're going to mulligan this one. Yeah, this is a really nice looking one. Triple Bazaar is not necessary, so we can very easily put one of those away. And I can see my opponent easily playing into Mind Break Trap here. I can be, no need to be greedy. See if they do anything here with the trap. They did not play into the trap. Okay. A lot of Bazaars, eh? Vigor does clean this up pretty nicely. It's not perfect, guys, but we're drawing a lot of cards every turn, and this is going to buy us time versus the Masticore. And yeah, I came off of Vigor by having to play out all my green cards, but because I'm drawing so many, there's a good chance that I'm going to be able to keep playing. We'll see. And of course, I would double block. This is first strike, so I can't do that. Okay. Yeah, this is very advantageous for us. We're just drawing so many cards. There's a Vigor. See if my opponent plays something here. Hopefully I'm not being premature by doing this, but okay, really clean 4-1 here. Very easily could have been a 5-0, and I really enjoyed playing this deck today. It's been a while since I've played Hollowvine, and uh, felt pretty smooth, didn't it? Like we never really got into too much trouble anywhere. Had some good grinds, and yeah, just sheer card advantage. Able to keep Bazaar on the table, lots of squeeze and masters going, and yeah, this is what happens. Anyways, guys, appreciate you hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you for the next time.